Have you ever stopped to think about how food became the biggest star on TV and film? I'm not just talking about recipes. I'm talking about stories, drama, culture, and art. That perfect dish in a Netflix documentary, the tension of a MasterChef finale, a chef's anguish in a chaotic restaurant, or even a viral Brigadeiro video on TikTok. This isn't just entertainment, it's a revolution, a silent revolution that began unpretentiously decades ago and now dictates what we eat, how we cook, and most importantly, how we see the world. In this video, we'll dive into the history of how gastronomy on screen went from a simple cooking lesson to a cultural force that changed everything, and what the future holds with the arrival of new technologies. Get ready for a complete journey that goes far beyond the plate. To understand this revolution, we need to go back in time to 1963. TV was a very different place, focused on news, sitcoms, and commercials. And this is where a legendary figure comes in, Julia Child.
Julia Child presents the Chicken Sisters. Miss Broiler, Miss Fryer, Miss Roaster, Miss Caponette, Miss Stewart, and Old Madam Hen.
She wasn't a reality show chef or a social media celebrity. She was a chef who, with her passion, her unpretentious manner, and her kitchen accidents, like dropping a potato on the floor and simply picking it back up, opened the doors of French cuisine to America. Julia proved that viewers had an insatiable appetite not just for food, but for learning about it. Her show, The French Chef, laid the foundation for everything that came after, proving that a cooking show could be educational, fun, and extremely popular. She made haute cuisine accessible and human. But on-screen culinary content didn't stop there. Starting in the 2000s, we moved from Julia's kitchen to the ring. Shows like MasterChef and The Great British Bake Off turned the kitchen into a battlefield. They added a crucial ingredient, human drama. It was no longer about the recipe, but about stories of overcoming challenges, tears, and victories.
Who pushed off your section?
Bobby pushed me off my section.
You hid behind Bobby.
Ben hides behind Bobby, not me.
He took over your section.
He pushed me off my station, would not let me back
Look
on.
at the size of you.
These shows brought a level of tension and narrative that captivated audiences, turning amateur cooks into celebrities and food into a stage for epic narratives. The MasterChef effect inspired millions of people to venture into the kitchen and use professional techniques at home, democratizing knowledge that was once restricted to professional chefs.
What I say is true. Anyone can cook, but only the fearless can be great.
If reality shows brought the drama, the streaming revolution, led by Netflix, brought the art. In 2011, a small documentary called Jiro Dreams of Sushi proved that a story about an 85-year-old chef in a small sushi shop in Tokyo could move the world. The film, with its minimalist and poetic approach, taught us that gastronomy is more than a job. It's a philosophy, a pursuit of perfection. The success of Jiro paved the way for Netflix's crown jewel, Chef's Table. This wasn't a show about how to cook, it was about why to cook. Each episode is a visual masterpiece, with breathtaking cinematography, epic soundtracks, and stories that transform chefs into philosophers and artists. The Jiro filter, with its saturated colors, ethereal lighting, and dramatic close-ups, has influenced virtually every food documentary since. And this documentary revolution wasn't limited to fine dining. The series Street Food took us to the streets, showing that street food also has incredible stories of resilience, culture, and community. By focusing on vendors and their lives, the series humanized food and demonstrated its profound connection to local identity and economy. Other shows like Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat demystified cooking for amateurs, focusing on basic concepts in a didactic and engaging way. These productions prove that food is the gateway to understanding a people's identity.
25 pounds?
No, I ordered 200.
On-screen gastronomy isn't just about documentaries. In fiction, food has become a character in its own right, a powerful plot device that drives character development and establishes cultural context. In 2007, Pixar gave us Ratatouille. The message was simple but revolutionary.
Anyone can cook.
The story of Remy, a rat chef, explored themes of prejudice and creativity and inspired a whole generation to get into the kitchen. The film showed that gastronomy is an art form accessible to everyone, regardless of their origin. Then came the extremes. The 2014 film Chef celebrated the joy of authentic cooking, showing a chef's journey to rediscover his passion in a food truck. The film, with its feel-good vibe, influenced the rise of new food truck entrepreneurs who saw in street food a form of creative freedom. And in 2022, The Bear arrived to show the other side. The series delves into the chaotic and stressful reality of a professional kitchen, addressing mental health, trauma, and human relationships. The authenticity of the series sparked important conversations about working conditions in the hospitality industry. And of course, the satire of The Menu, which used fine dining to critique the pretension and excess of the culinary world. These films and series show that food can tell any story, from joy to anguish, from triumph to social criticism.
You're probably going to find out about it anyway.
It would be impossible to talk about gastronomy on screen without mentioning the name Anthony Bourdain.
Chef Anthony Bourdain.
Anthony Bourdain.
Anthony Bourdain.
He didn't just change how we make travel and food shows, he reinvented them, transforming the genre into a form of cultural journalism. Bourdain wasn't a tourist, he was a storyteller. He used food as an excuse to talk about politics, history, and people. The phrase he used was more B-roll, less me, meaning he wanted local voices and stories to have more space than his own perspective. His approach focused on cultural understanding through food rather than mere culinary tourism. He taught us to be curious, to eat without prejudice, and to respect the traditions of each place. His legacy extends far beyond Emmy Awards. He humanized cultures that were often misrepresented in the media.
So back in Vietnam, one of my favorite places on earth, and all of the things I need for happiness. Low plastic stool, check. Tiny little plastic table, check. Something delicious in a bowl, check.
His honest and no reservations approach became the gold standard for a new generation of content creators, proving that food is the best way to break down cultural barriers. His influence continues to inspire documentarians to approach the topic with more sensitivity and authenticity. He showed us that, in the end, food is the most human thing there is. But no revolution would be complete without the internet, and the internet brought us TikTok. Social media democratized gastronomy. You don't need a Netflix production crew to be a content creator. With a smartphone camera and a good idea, anyone can make a dish go viral. The success of virals like Tanghulu or Butterboards shows that what matters now is the combination of visual appeal with the potential for participation. This has created a fascinating and vicious loop. A TV show inspires a TikTok viral, which in turn influences the next TV show. The line between creator and viewer has never been so thin, and the impact is real and measurable. Viral content influences consumer behavior, shapes restaurant trends, and even drives tourism. The ease of sharing, recreating, and connecting around recipes has made gastronomy an interactive and communal experience like never before. Food has become a social experience shared in real time.
Hi, I'm Santos Lowe. I'm a food stylist.
Behind all this magic, there's an art we rarely see: food styling. Making food look perfect on screen is a meticulous job.
Whenever you see an image of food, odds are a food stylist had a hand in it.
Full of tricks and challenges. It's both a science and an art. The visual demands of documentaries like Chef's Table have raised the bar for everyone. Macro cameras, dramatic lighting, slow motion shots. All of this created a new visual language for food that is now copied by restaurants and influencers. Culinary production has become a science and an art, with professionals dedicated to ensuring that every dish tells a story. And what does the future hold? The future of gastronomy on screen promises to be even more immersive and interactive. Virtual reality, artificial intelligence, interactive experiences that allow us to choose the ingredients in a cooking show or even have a virtual chef guiding us in the kitchen. The line between the screen and our table will become even more blurred. Gastronomy on screen is no longer just about entertainment. It's a force that has shaped our culture, the economy, and how we relate to food. It has inspired us to cook, to travel, and to appreciate the story behind every dish. From Julia Child's pioneering work to Anthony Bourdain's vision and viral TikToks, food on screen has become a universal language that unites us. Because in the end, it doesn't matter if it's in a fine dining restaurant, a food truck, or your own kitchen, the best part of a meal is always sharing it. And today we share more than ever, not just at the table, but on the screen.